Hey everybody, welcome to Hayfro Sells. My name is Jeff. Welcome back. Welcome new subscribers. I'm humbled and flattered, and I appreciate all the comments. I think there's strength in numbers, and I think that we've kind of just had enough, and I think it just came to a boiling point. And you know, it's really just the beginning, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't have some big follow-up to that video. There's no way I'm going to possibly be able to follow that up. But I do want to talk about in this video what has happened from Thursday night when I was on the phone with eBay and I was literally one mouse click away from just putting my store on dynamic 15%. I was just like, at that point, I was just gonna be like, take all my money. You know, if you're not gonna show my listings, which is kind of like what many of us suspect, I have no choice. And I hated that feeling of being so vulnerable that I've spent years and years building up a store. I've spent years sourcing. I've spent years, planning and thinking, planning for my future, buying inventory that I still haven't listed. I was just like, you know what? I was just like, F it. I was just like, just take it. But you know what? You know what, eBay? You're going to get this, and then I'm done, right? I'm gonna just sell it all over time. And I know it would take a while, but I would just start on another platform, or I would just sell locally, or, I would do eBay on a very small scale. And I was literally just about to click that button. And then I remembered, I was just like, but wait, it's 15% on the price, the shipping, the tax. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm like, I just can't do it. I can't give 35 to 40% to eBay. I literally can't. It doesn't make any sense. I don't do this to give nearly half of what I do to eBay. They make enough. In fact, so I didn't do it, by the way. I don't want to hold you guys in suspense. In fact, I don't want to beat this dead horse, but I really think that this is something worth exploring as well. Is eBay lives in a scarcity mindset, not an abundant mindset. And that scarcity mindset hurts us, it hurts buyers, and it benefits eBay. And they think they're living in the abundant mindset. So what I mean by this is, like, think about, what if eBay came out and said, we are no longer going to charge you a final value fee on the shipping because it no longer makes sense in the current environment? How would sellers react to that? I think it would be like, I think we would feel appreciated. I think we would feel like eBay is actually doing something for us, right? Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up now is because I constantly think about the fact that it's wrong. I mean, yeah, it's wrong. It's wrong from my perspective, right? Yeah, I'm only looking at it from my perspective, and eBay's a business, right? But maybe not. Think about this. When eBay started doing that, it was a different time. It was a different climate. It was kind of like the wild, wild west of eBay. People would sell something for $1, charge $20 for shipping and handling. They were trying to screw the system. So now you can't do that. You can't get away with that as a seller. Like, you would get negative feedback after negative feedback after negative feedback, and your account status would go down, and it would be self-sabotage for a seller to do that. So people would charge the appropriate amount of shipping. In fact, people would charge less shipping than they do. Because now we have to charge more to make up for the fact that we know we have to give some of that to eBay. If eBay came out and they said, okay, we are no longer going to charge final value fees on shipping. And I think things like this are like eBay has trained us to just accept that. And now we're mad at the promoted listing charges. But we should still be mad at the fact that we pay shipping and handling final value fees. Because if eBay did not charge final value fees on shipping, we could charge less, the buyer could pay less, they would have a better overall experience, and they would buy more. And then eBay would make more on the final value fees of all the other extra things that people buy. So scarcity mindset is eBay saying, our sales are dwindling, we need to make more off of our sellers. We need to make more off of our customers because we are eBay's customers. Our customers are our customers, but they're also eBay's customers. So eBay is like win and then win. Like everything is in their favor and they want more. So if eBay were to drop the final value fees on shipping, then like I said, people would buy more because the biggest deterrent to online shopping is shipping. But okay, so enough about that. Where was I going with this? I basically was just I can't do. So basically, what I did was I put my I just put a 3% on both of my stores. I upped my markdown promotion by 5% on my one entire store, and then my wife's store, I think I fiddled around with the percentages a little bit, and then I just went to bed. And honestly, that night, I felt this whole week has been the worst week in reselling, not just from a sales point. I mean, I've had slow sales. We've all had slow sales before, you know, and a lot of times they're in summer. But this feels completely different than any time in the past. It literally feels like our stores are just not being shown to buyers. And the other thing too that I was kind of like really gutted over is just thinking about the promoted listings, the promoted listing fees, the way the whole system is now. eBay is literally trying to just make organic traffic a thing of the past. And you know, the whole way the page is designed to promote other items that you may like, other similar items of the exact same item that you are selling. And then if you scroll down below the description, there's more promoted listings. And get this, I don't know if you even considered this. Let's say somebody comes to your page organically, and then they scroll down to the bottom of the page where there's like kind of like suggestions. And then sometimes I notice my items are in there. So it's like they're promoting my items on my own page. So I'm guessing if somebody clicks on that item, it's going to be under the promoted listing umbrella. So even though they came organically, if they scroll down enough and they clicked on my own item, I'm going to have to pay promoted listing fees on that, not just one time, multiple times if they come back within a 30-day period. And I really legitimately question, like, is reselling even sustainable in the current eBay model? So fast forward to the next day, I wake up, I have a $44 sale for a Sailor Moon hat. I always buy anything Sailor Moon. It's a great franchise. There's always going to be a fan base there. So I could not get that item in a box, get a label on that as fast as I could. I felt like this might be the only sale of the day that I get. And I guarantee you, every single one of you know exactly what that feels like right now. And I'm like, I am not risking a cancellation. I am getting anything that sells today in the mail. And I hate that we have to feel like that right now, that every sale is so important. Every offer is so important that if we don't accept it, or we counter and it gets turned down, how am I going to feel if I have the opportunity to make a little bit of money where I could have made more money? It just doesn't sit right with me, right? It just doesn't feel like this is why I got into reselling. Like, I believe I said this in the last video, but if I was at day one right now and I had to decide if I wanted to do eBay, no way would I do it. There's no way I would do eBay right now. There's no way I could recommend it in good conscience to anybody with the current structure. You know, if things were the way they were prior to the time when they made the change that you had to do 2%, when the 2% was the minimum, that in my opinion is when everything changed, and I am not the only one who thinks that. And then July 17th, something changed then. But anyhow, so Friday, I got that packaged. I made that video. I listed. I worked. I went and visited my daughter, and then we went and visited a friend, and then I just was watching the comments and the subscribers roll in. I mean, I'm a bit flabbergasted, to be honest with you. I'm just an ordinary guy. I'm just an ordinary seller. I've been doing this for 12 years, 8 years full time. I know what I'm doing. I know that somebody could look at my store and think that some of these things are never going to sell, but I promise you, you would be surprised what I can sell. So, and I'm going to give you some examples. I'm not going to show you everything because a lot of these things already shipped out, but I did have 10 sales yesterday. I had 8 on eBay and I had 2 offline, and the two that were offline were actually listed on eBay as well, and it felt so good to just take them down off of eBay and I get to keep all the money. And you know what? That's eBay's doing. I would, and I say this, if eBay was working fine and eBay wasn't being as greedy as they could possibly be right now, I would be listing everything on eBay. I would be content. That was what I want to do. But I can't do that now. I have to supplement my eBay sales with offline sales just to not feel like everything I do is in vain, and everything I do is to like feed the eBay machine. So real quick, here are some of the things that I sold yesterday. I sold a Disney puzzle for $15. I sold a Vans change purse for $20. I sold a Guinness shot glass for $15. I really wanted to counter on those shot glasses, but I was all in for $1 on the pair. I was making money. I know they were worth more than they were. They were really super cool, but I just felt like, what if I counter and he declines? Is this gonna put me back in eBay hell? So I just accepted. I'm just like, you know what? Let's just create some flow. Let's just get some sales, because I don't know if sales are gonna go back to being like crap tomorrow, which is today. I didn't know that. So I'm just like, okay, I sold a Charleston patch. I have that right here. This sold for $10. Comic for $4. Mork and mini game pieces from the 1980s. A board game for $17, going to Canada. Actually would have been more like $19 because I made a little bit on the shipping. And then I sold a painting. And this is an interesting story. I had it on Craigslist, and I had a gentleman from Arizona. I don't know how he found me. And we settled on a deal, $60 shipped. I did have this listed on eBay. I actually had two paintings by this artist. Here, it's right here. I'll show you. It's by Ted DeGrazia. And so that was 60, but 20 of that's going to go to shipping. So I did. Oh, and then I sold this barware from a local tavern that kind of caters to kind of like nerds, like pop culture nerds who play board games. It's actually really cool. I loved it. Like I'm a nerd. But I did 10 sales, $289 yesterday. And that's exactly where I want to be every day. Like I don't want to sell 20 or 30 items. Like I'm kind of lazy in terms of like I have a goal. I'm not lazy, but I don't want to like be selling 30 or 40 things a day. That's just not what I want to do. I want to up my per item, per package total. You know, I want people to buy more. But yeah, I'm happy with 10 to 289. That's a good day. That's a solid day. And today I'm at 7 at 281. Now I've had 2 offline sales as well, and they were really good sales. I sold that painting that I showed in the video on, I believe, Wednesday, that I paid $10 for, and I sold it for $120. I showed you guys when I bought it. I paid $10 for it. I thought it was super cool. It actually didn't take that long to sell. So that was $120. And then I sold this Tibetan scroll that I had no idea what it was. I'll read to you what I put in the description. Tibetan Buddhist cosmology, astrology, Indian art, parchment scroll poster. I thought it was super cool. I paid $3 for it. I threw it up on eBay. It's been up there for maybe 3 or 4 months. No bites, no nothing. And somebody locally, somebody who I believe is from, the South Asian area, and he was an older gentleman, and I had it listed for 80. And prior to meeting, they didn't message me and ask me if I would accept a lower price. And then when they got there, I mean, he was just this elderly man. He was actually the number that I had, I called, and it was his wife, and she was telling me how they don't drive anymore. So she said he's being driven in a van, and they'll be there soon. So I went out, found him, and the person who was driving actually asked if I would do any lower, and I was watching her, and I was like, okay, what's she gonna say? And I think she wanted to say 50, but then she said 60, and I was like, you know what, I'll do that. And I did that because I can do that. And you know what? It felt good. I'm like, this is an older gentleman. This piece obviously means something to him. I'm okay with that. And that in itself is abundant thinking. Like, that is what eBay does not do. They do not give us breaks. They take from us, right? Abundant thinking is, we don't need to charge on final values on shipping, because we're going to make that back through more sales, through volume. That's true abundant thinking. So yeah, I cut them a break. I guarantee you, if I'd have said no, I'm firm at that, they would have paid for it, because I don't know where they drove from, but you don't get a driver to drive. I believe they were about 30 minutes away, because that was kind of like from the time when I spoke to the wife that they left. They're not going to turn around and not take it. I had them, and I could have been like, no, but no. So 7 sales, 281. This is about and the day is still sorry, it's hi babe. There's still plenty of day left, right? So tell me how your guys' sales are doing. Have you seen anything bounce back with your eBay stores? Have you seen more offers? Have you seen more traffic? I actually haven't looked at my impressions. I wonder what that's looking like. It was actually it was better than it has been ever since July 18th, but it's still significantly down from July 16th. So I'm gonna leave this video here. That's kind of like where I've been at up until now with sales. Things seem to be stabilizing. Let me know how your guys' sales are doing, and we will be back soon with another video.